Outer Banks is back this summer, and we are here to tell you everything you need to know and what to expect from this final season, Season 5.
Quick note before we start. Outer Banks isn't a movie. It's Netflix's hit teen adventure series. But this is a big one because the show is finally coming back for the very last time.
Quick refresher for anyone who needs it. Outer Banks kicked off in 2020 with John B. and his crew of Pogues hunting for lost gold on a North Carolina island split between the wealthy kooks and the working-class Pogues. Over 4 seasons, that treasure hunt has taken them to the Bahamas, a secret island called Poguelandia, and most recently, into the Moroccan desert, chasing the legend of Blackbeard's Cross and the Blue Crown. Across those 4 seasons, the show has racked up nearly 200 million views and landed on Netflix's top 10 English TV list 25 separate times. It's one of the streamer's biggest ongoing hits, which is exactly why this final season has so much riding on it. Season 4 ended about as dark as this show has ever gone. Chandler Groff killed his own son, JJ, right in front of Kiara. And now, the Pogues are out for revenge. They're at their absolute breaking point, stranded far from home, mourning the heart of their crew, and they've lost the Blue Crown they fought so hard for. It was also the show's first ever feature-length finale, and the creators have said flat out that it was built to set the stage for one epic final season. Mark your calendars. Outer Banks Season 5 finally has a premiere date, August 20th, 2026. That's almost 2 years after Season 4 first dropped back in October 2024, easily the longest wait between seasons in the show's history. Filming wrapped on December 19th, 2025, so this has been a long road for fans. And here's the best part. The entire 10-episode season will be released as a binge drop, not split into 2 parts the way Season 4 was. Netflix has been moving away from that split format across most of its shows, and it sounds like the Pogues are getting the classic all-at-once treatment for their farewell. The confirmed cast for the final season includes Chase Stokes as John B., Madelyn Cline as Sarah Cameron, Madison Bailey as Kiara, Jonathan Davis as Pope, Carlacia Grant as Cleo, Drew Starkey as Rafe, J. Anthony Crane as Chandler Groff, Austin North as Topper, Fiona Palomo as Sophia, and Cullen Moss as Shoop. One sad note for longtime fans. Rudy Panko has been confirmed not to return, all but confirming JJ's death is permanent. There was actually a real fan campaign to bring him back. Organizers put together a petition that crossed 11,000 signatures and even paid for billboards in Times Square in Los Angeles, asking Netflix to reverse the decision. Despite all that effort, it doesn't look like it worked.
On a lighter note, Julia Antonelli is officially back as Wheezy Cameron, marking her biggest role since Season 3. And set photos suggest she could have real material to work with this time around. Production on this final season was its own adventure. Filming kicked off June 16, 2025, in the show's usual home base of Charleston, South Carolina, before the cast packed up for an international shoot in Croatia, following Season 4's trip to Morocco. It wasn't entirely smooth sailing either. Reports surfaced of an on-set incident during the Croatia leg, though the production pushed through and wrapped on schedule in December. The cast has been candid about how emotional this final run felt. Several of the actors have described saying goodbye to the show that shaped their early careers as genuinely bittersweet, especially shooting scenes without Rudy Panko on set for the first time. So, what's actually going to happen? According to Netflix's official synopsis, with Chandler Groff still at large, Dahlia and the Corsairs closing in, and the Kooks making sure the Pogues have no home to return to, John B., Sarah, Kiara, Pope, and Cleo will have to rely on their instincts and an uneasy alliance with Rafe just to keep from falling apart for good. That's right, Rafe and the Pogues working together. That alone tells you how desperate things have gotten. The teaser trailer, set to Alt-J's Left Hand Free, gives us our first real clues.
Early photos suggest the group starts the season still in Europe, gets thrown behind bars in what looks like the same Croatian jail scene in the trailer, then makes it back to the Outer Banks partway through, with more chaos and a very dramatic explosion involving John B's van in the back half of the season. So expect a season that splits roughly into Stranded overseas and the final stand at home. This is officially the final season, and the creators, Jonas Pate, Josh Pate, and Shannon Burke, have been clear that this was always the plan. When the renewal was announced back in November 2024, they said they wanted to bring the Pogues home the way they imagined and planned years ago, calling it their best season yet. After nearly 200 million views across 4 seasons, it's a proper send-off rather than a cancellation, which is rare enough these days that it's worth celebrating on its own. Netflix is even leaning into the nostalgia with a vinyl release of the seasons 1 through 4 soundtracks timed for this summer.
So that's everything we know. Final season, 10 episodes, all dropping August 20. A desperate alliance with Rafe, and a war with the kooks to close it all out. Drop a comment with your prediction for how it ends. Does everyone make it out? And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our full Season 5 breakdown the moment it drops.